Alright, this should be my last, I'm hoping, final Obama birth certificate, fake, whatever, video. I'm getting quite a few hits on YouTube, private messages, as well as comments in the videos that I'm putting out. You know, of course, denying it. No, that's wrong. They have OCR text turned on when scanning the image into, you know, Adobe or whatever, and I'm just, the last thing that I can possibly show you. We've already seen the videos. Carl Denninger did one about the pixelization problem. The entire Obama birth certificate has those type of characters all over almost the whole entire thing, where there's no pixelization next to these characters, letters, whatever, in the document. Again, so the only thing I've been hit with lately is, oh, you got to scan it or turn on OCR text scanning or whatever, text recognition, as well as optimization. So I've done both. I've been playing with this thing. I cannot get anything even close, even remotely close to what the White House released. Now, out of all the people who contacting me, oh, this is your nonsense, your video sucks, it's not true, blah, blah, blah. Of course, you know, that's expected. You know, as the old saying goes, there's a bozo in every crowd. But there was one guy, don't remember his name off the top of my head. I don't think he was a subscriber of mine ever, because I didn't recognize the name. But that doesn't matter. And he, I think, replied with a video of him doing that, scanning it in to Adobe with the OCR text recognition, and he shows how it does in fact create layers. If you then open Illustrator after you're done doing it with Adobe. But like my other video showed, it creates a ton more layers, significantly more layers than Obama's little 9. Obama's little 9 are like perfect. They're all the pieces of that birth certificate that one would need to manipulate, basically. Whereas if you let Adobe scan and optimize and recognize the text and do its thing, it comes out with a whole crap load of layers in which, if you turn them off and on, doesn't do anything even remotely close to what Obama did, where you can turn off pieces of his birth certificate that were key elements that you would need, you know, the birth date, the sign-off date, whatever, you know, some key parts. The bottom signature, or not the signature, but that little stamp, the doctor stamp. So I am now going to play or start a screen capture on my laptop showing what I'm talking about. So I'm going to first start by opening the genuine White House Obama birth certificate in Adobe. Matter of fact, I'm opening it right now in regular Adobe Reader, not the Pro. It doesn't matter really. So I just want to show you something. As soon as I click on this, one mouse click, left click, boom. The whole entire screen of within Adobe, this image, this birth certificate, all of a sudden the whole thing lights up blue, which your computer is telling you, because this happens on everything within your computer. If you click on something, like an icon on your desktop, that icon becomes blue to let you know you've got it highlighted, this is what your mouse clicked on. Well, within Adobe, to prove that this thing was scanned in, you know, without OCR text recognition, okay, forget the layer thing, because again, the layers that we're claiming with Obama's birth certificate is that they didn't scan it in with optimization or with OCR text recognition. We're saying he was probably, whoever did this had a digital file, right? A copy of a background of a birth certificate, started using other pieces of other birth certificates to piece this thing together, basically, is what we're saying, based off of this, you know, forensic analysis that we're all doing. So anyways, notice that I click on this screen and the whole entire thing turns blue, as if you have the whole thing. In other words, this is one layer, as far as Adobe is concerned, as far as a picture is concerned, this is one thing, one object that Adobe has in it. I cannot click on at the top where it says Certificate of Live Birth. If I click there and I move my mouse and I keep clicking, notice all it does is highlight the whole thing and then unhighlights it. That's it. So I'm going to open that same document with Adobe Pro Reader, you know, Writer, whatever, the same thing, not the free one. I was using the free one, Adobe Reader. Now I'm using the professional one that you can manipulate and do things, which again, I have a 30-day trial, so whatever. As soon as I click, whole thing lights up again. Click down here, lights up. Click on the word certificate. Let me get this trial thing out of my face. Click on the word certificate. Again, same thing as the Adobe Reader, the free one. It's just showing you that this is one object, plain and simple. So, if OCR text recognition is turned on, something changes. So, if I reopen the birth certificate in Adobe Pro, I then go to File. Actually, we're gonna, let's see, optimize. We are going to go to our tools, recognize text. It's the same. This is actually the exact same thing that happens when you scan a document. By the way, if you don't think that's true, go ahead and do it yourself, and you will see that just because I'm not hooking up my scanner right now to scan a printed version of this does not matter. And the reason I'm not going to do that, which I do have 2 copies right now sitting over here next to me, I was doing it earlier. The same thing applies. It doesn't change anything. It's still complete crap as far as I'm concerned, the fake birth certificate. But if this was a document sent to him by mail, right, and then they scan it, or however they got it, whatever. Somebody printed this and scanned it, is what I guess the claim is. The White House must have got this document and then scanned it, and then shipped it out for the world to see online. If you print that out and then rescan it, you're degrading the quality of the original artifact or the original document. So that's why I'm not going to show you right now what happens if I physically use my scanner and then tell Adobe, scan this document and check the box for OCR text recognition and check the box for optimization and then let it scan. I did this earlier. It doesn't change a thing, and the quality goes down slightly on both documents that I have. And the 2 documents I have are his live birth certificate, the one from the White House, and a secondary one, which I mentioned in my other video, from 1963, a guy named Alan, well, he blacked out his last name, but Alan something from Honolulu, 1963. Same exact birth certificate that Obama has. Everything's identical on that, except for where he was born. He was born in a different hospital, you know, somewhere else in Hawaii. But the image is the same. You know, here's a copy of it anyways. The printed one. It's the same as Obama. So anyways, I'm clicking on the screen again. You can see that it's blue. It's one artifact. It's one object, if you will. I'm now going to say, go ahead, let's run the text recognition. There it goes. It's rotating the image, decomposing, right, doing all this stuff. Or, you know, some argue that's when it creates the layers and whatnot. Well, not necessarily the layers that we're talking about. So, now that I've just ran the OCR text, watch what happens when I click on certificate. Notice my mouse cursor is now blinking. If I hit the delete button or backspace button, you see a little red line go through there. So I'm going to undo that. That's interesting. So let's go over the 151. Yep, I can click there. How about department? Yep, I can click up here. Anywhere in this document, even let's see up here, hospital, Honolulu. Okay, down here, it you know. And by the way, when you run the OCR text recognition or whatever, if you have a document that's just terrible quality or it's old, you know, the ink's different, you'll notice, like you probably just saw, some of the things that I click on, it won't recognize that text in that particular spot. But the good quality text, whatever, you can clearly see I'm clicking in it and I'm able to do this over and over and over again. So I want to share that with you because that's what happens even if you scan it directly from a document in your scanner, in the PDF, into Adobe PDF, and you check the boxes before you scan it to do the optimization and do the text recognition. And by the way, I've tried it both ways, without text recognition and without optimization, and scanning it through my scanner. It didn't change anything. It took me a while to do all this, and I'm not making a 40-minute video to go through this. If you don't believe me, you need to do it. And if you have something to say to me such as, oh, it's fake, everybody knows it's OCR text recognition does that, this isn't debunked, this is nonsense. My question to you is, did you open your computer, do you have Illustrator and Adobe Professional, and did you do what you're claiming on your comment to me that, oh, it's OCR, blah, 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 everybody knows this, it creates layers. Yes, it creates layers, we've already accomplished that, but the layers it creates is like Chinese compared to what Obama's perfect document layers are. Not even close, not even remotely close. So, one last thing I want to cover, I'm going to close this, I'm not saving it because I'm not overwriting the original file, is I'm going to open the same original birth certificate with Illustrator again this time, and I'm going to show you why with absolute certainty, besides me just showing you right now, that's pretty certain that it couldn't have possibly had OCR text recognition turned on because it's one complete image. One other interesting thing, let me zoom in a little bit. And we're going to go down to the bottom of the document where, as you see as I hover my mouse, there's these artifacts, right? The ones that we really question that are just impossible to create with any kind of importing or scanning in OCR. I want you to focus on the state registrar stamp of approval. Now, it's probably safe to say, kind of like your boss or your business, the boss may not be there and you need to write a check to pay off a vendor or pay for something. You work in the finance department, you have his stamp with his name, signature on it, and boom, you hit that check, here you go. Boom, hit the next check, here you go, and you pay people their checks or paychecks or whatever. You're not actually physically getting your boss to walk over and sign. So even if that's the case with this birth certificate where they literally are really signing it, and there's a stamp above it, which says, I certify this is a true copy, whatever, and then they sign their name under it, maybe that is. The bottom line I'm going to make here is that either case doesn't matter. Because as I hover my mouse over that whole box is an object that moves within itself. You can put that anywhere on the document you feel like it. It'll grab the whole little stamp thing with the signature and it will move it all over the place. So if OCR text recognition was turned on, the bottom of that stamp where the signature is, as well as the rest of the document as I showed, I would be able to click in there like I'm going to try to do now and say I certify this, and notice no matter where I click, well, I was going to say no matter where I click, it's not putting my cursor there, but I forgot I'm in Illustrator. But I wanted to show you this because that box is one entire big unit. So let's go back real quick to the original birth certificate. Open with Acrobat Pro, scroll down to that stamp, signature, whatever. Again, if I click it, I'm clicking the whole entire document. There's no way around this. So just out of curiosity, let's go and do the OCR text recognition again. Scroll back down. And now I can click within that stamp box where it says I certify blah blah blah. I can even click the signature. It's not exactly perfect, but you can still see that I can even click the signature down here, and some of the parts of the actual cursive signature was recognized and allows me to put my cursor in there. So that means there's text that was recognized. But again, you can't do that in the original format. So let's go here, save as, save a copy. We're actually going to optimize the PDF, but first we're going to save it as a regular PDF so I have a copy. And I'm going to call it copy on my desktop, save. Now as you see up here at the top, copy.pdf, we're still in that document. So now I'm going to save this file as an optimized PDF, which is another thing people said you had to do that. You gotta do that. And we'll call it copy1, save. And what happens if I click in here? Same thing, because the text recognition is still on, right? So we still have that, which means if I was to close this right now and then open it in Illustrator, I've already done a no-no. I just screwed up the experiment. Why? Because I can physically click into this document right now as it is saved. I haven't changed anything else now at this point. It's saved the way it is with OCR and with optimization. If I close this and then open it in Illustrator, I've already screwed up the experiment because, as I just showed you, I can click in this text. Whereas Obama's original, I cannot click on the text. It treats the whole thing as an image, which means for sure it was created with a program like Illustrator, most likely Illustrator, and then dumped into a PDF file. It had to be. So this should now, I'm hoping and assuming, but of course I'm not going to hope, because nobody that is a diehard skeptic about Obama's birth certificate, who believes he's the real deal, and you know, birthers, you idiots, they won't believe it no matter what. I mean, that's the bottom line. You can have them come to their house, have Obama come to their house and say, look, don't tell anybody, I was born in Kenya, but there's nothing you can do about it, peasant, piss off. And that guy would say, oh, you're messing with me, you're just messing with me. They wouldn't believe it anyways. So I hope I just proved beyond any doubt, again beyond any doubt, that this is impossible. And if I close this, which I'll go ahead and do it, why not? There it is, copy one, right click, open with Illustrator. And again, I just screwed up the experiment because I left it to where you can click inside the text because OCR text recognition was on. This doesn't even count because you're messing it up. So here it is. Let's look at some layers. That last layer, again, it's the same way it did it before, where if you close this off, it shuts the whole thing, that bottom layer. You know, let's just start unchecking all the eyeballs. And let me scroll down just a little bit so you can see that bottom piece. Again, nothing. All the way up, you are not seeing any changes whatsoever. And this is with the people who told me, turn on OCR text recognition and then optimize it too. I've done it both ways. I already told you this. It doesn't change anything. Now we have a crap load more layers, and I don't know if you see this, but we also have 4 more sub layers within those layers that have layers. So, and I've already turned them off anyway. So this is debunked. The debunkers have been debunked. End of story. End of discussion. I don't need to make any more videos. If you skeptics don't believe it, you do the videos showing that we're wrong, and then you post them, and I'll gladly accept it as a response to my video. I'll even download your video and then upload it myself, if that's the case. Have a nice day. Take care.